Day 17, Abracadabra. Our words create our realities. You may be fully aware of how this works, and you may not have ever heard of this before, but I'm going to tell you something that's really mind-blowing and how it can alter your life drastically. Are you ready? Your words create your reality. You may not believe me, but it's true. We've already deciphered that thoughts have vibrations. They signal a response in the physical world and shift your emotions and actions. And if you've been with us for each day of this program, you've had an opportunity to test this theory out yourself by feeling into various words and thoughts. You've also likely noticed that words, written or spoken, have the power to create images in your mind. That's why having thoughts inside your mind is one thing, but speaking them out loud is even more powerful. Think about it. The thought itself changes the energy vibrations within your body, and speaking it out loud produces sound, which is also vibration. The sound travels through the air or other mediums and bounces off of various surfaces, causing other vibrations in our physical world. This may not seem that important to you, at least not yet, but think about tuning forks and what happens when we chime them. Well, if the tuning forks say you've got two tuning forks of the same frequency, chiming one tuning fork will cause the other to resonate. Now, we do that as people too, don't we? Someone would say something or feel something and cause similar feelings in others who resonate with their frequency. Again, likes attract likes. This is how it happens with two tuning forks of the same frequency. But what happens with tuning forks of different frequencies? Tuning forks that are not the same frequency will not resonate with the one that was chimed. But what I find particularly interesting is that the vibrations can cause other objects to resonate as well, not just tuning forks. Okay, so what does this mean for you? And what's this talk about tuning forks? This means that whatever you say is creating physical vibrations in the physical world that will be causing something to resonate. So whenever we complain about things, place blame or gossip about people, what we're doing is we're putting out a very strong signal to the universe that that is what we want back in our lives. We're causing similar frequencies to resonate. Personally, I've lived periods of my life with complaints, blame, and gossip, and ones without, and I will take the ones without any day. Knowing this simple concept is one of the biggest keys to you having a great life. Here's why. The power of your word is so important, spoken or written. In fact, anything that you put out into the world has a potential to alter your reality and the life of others. Even visual words and images create thought and vibrational responses in the viewers. So be sure when you speak, write, or create that you are clear, intentional, and generating something positive that will contribute to the world that you live in, because you have the power to dramatically change your life for the better just by doing this. Make sure what you give is something you'd be happy to get back. This may take some training and getting used to, but it's well worth it. And it's important to note that you get back what you've been signaling to the universe. And it may not be in sync with the time that you think it should happen. It's also important to note that it's never too late to change your words and your vibrational energies that you put out, even if you've been negative or destructive for such a long time. Okay? This is why the first portion of this program, I had you get crystal clear on what you want for a particular area of your life. And then I had you begin to notice where negativity showed up in your speaking and interactions. So you can begin to clear some of it and start practicing thinking and speaking from a positive perspective. By understanding this lesson, you now have the power and the knowledge to create your life in new, fresh ways and adjust it to your liking. When you're practicing with Abracadabra, you may discover there are still things in the way, and you will want to clear them so you can free yourself from past patterns of thinking and allow the ones you create to take root. Worry not, my friend. In the last week of this program, you'll get really clear on what's in the way so you can free yourself of it for good. When you get good at doing this Abracadabra thing, you'll start to have things manifest, and sometimes instantly. It happens to me quite often, especially with people in my life. I have the most amazing relationships. I met my boyfriend in one day after writing down the kind of relationship that I wanted and how I wanted to be treated. We just celebrated our 6-year anniversary. I met a girl that I dated the exact same day as I said out loud what I wanted, and I had even created her name before meeting her. That was pretty awesome. And I met both of my housekeepers the same way. I often speak something that I want to know more about, and then some kind of commercial will come on TV immediately after explaining what I was just asking about. I said only once that I wanted to win the top 40 under 40 business achievement award in my area, and then someone who I had just met nominated me and I won. I said I wanted to be a best-selling author, and then I was contacted to co-author a book which became an Amazon international bestseller in one day, and it was forwarded by one of my favorite personal development authors, Bob Proctor. So I can think of so many examples when I just said something or wrote something and then it happened. Some were instantaneous, and some were months or years later. But what I spoke and really wanted came into my existence perfectly. Even my most recent business partners. Something each of my manifestations had in common was that I really wanted them and I didn't feel I needed them. I wasn't attached to things having to be a certain way. In other words, I totally let go of it. I said, this is what I want, meh, and moved on. I enjoyed my life, and I just let myself get into the flow and things happen naturally. Now here's where I did not have success in my manifestations. It's important to know that too. Whenever I would really want something badly, and then I would push too hard or try to control things too much, or I would live in fear or be attached to it. If I thought I needed it as opposed to just wanted it, I would usually find things harder to come by. Unless I had reached the point of giving up and surrendering, which was again, letting go. So it was out of my hands. Only then did I get what I was requesting. And I just had a funny thought. That reminds me of my kids. So I'm much happier giving my kids things that they want, but they're not attached to. When they're whining and complaining or fighting over things, I totally don't want to give it to them. Me, it's mine, not fair. If you're a parent, you definitely know what I mean. And if you're not, I'm sure you've experienced something similar to this before. So I'm suddenly conscious of the fact that it's so much nicer to give when people have a sincere appreciation. And appreciation and not being attached are the keys. So here's your homework. Part 1. Rewrite what you want as if it's already here. Intentionally visualize all of the details and feel good while doing it. But then let it go. Like legit, push it out of your mind. Allow yourself to flow freely through your day and just trust that things are working out for your best interests. In part 2, practice speaking, writing, and thinking clearly and intentionally. It's totally okay if this takes some time to get good at. It took me quite a bit. And even after I knew what I was doing, I would sometimes allow myself to slip back into old bouts of thinking. Sometimes I'd begin to feel a victim of my bipolar, ADD, depressive, or anxious thoughts. I mean, we are all human and we're all operating from our previous knowledge, experience, and conditioning. So it does take some time, sometimes more time for others to master this, and that's totally okay. Regardless of how long it takes you, when you start to get this and begin to experience the wondrous things it can bring about, you will want to continue doing it. And in the meantime, if you struggle with this like I did, this is where an accountability partner or that person that you brought into the program in the beginning, or even a coach would come in handy. I said a lot there, so to recap, here's your homework. 1, visualize with absolute clarity and certainty what you want as if it's happening now. Feel great and then just let it go. 2, be intentional in your speaking, writing, creating, knowing the vibrational signals you're putting out to the universe are attracting similar things. And like every day, just have fun, love your life, be grateful for the people in your life and the things you've got, and I will see you tomorrow.